You are listening to Genti Audio. Title: Chronicles of a Runs Girl. Written by Leye Adenle and narrated by Elma Mbadiwe. Part 1. Running Girl. I have learnt many things in life, and one of them is that you cannot run for your life in high-heeled shoes. As I was running down the slope of Falamo Bridge at some time past 4 a.m., I was actually praying for the heels of my Dorothy Perkins shoes to break because I did not dare stop to take them off. I was no longer aware of Mama running behind me. I couldn't hear her footsteps, but I wasn't stopping to check on her. It was well and truly an every chick for herself kind of situation. And besides, we have always told her to lose weight. Maybe now, if we make it out of this alive, she will finally learn the folly of embracing her robot title. At the bottom of the bridge on the Ikoyi side, I ran into the remnants of a police checkpoint. The officers were drinking what I can only assume to be paraga and counting the day's take. If I was shocked to happen on them at 4 in the morning, they were equally startled to see a yellow girl in a cream low-cut chiffon dress running at them. They scattered away from my path and would have let me continue if at that point Mama had not called out to me and finally break my getaway. The policemen regained their composure and immediately proceeded to arrest us, pointing their guns and shouting at us to tell them who we were. I was out of breath, Mama even more so. The officers waited while their paraga woman opined that we must be ashewos, and they agreed without relenting their hold on their weapons. As I was contemplating whether it was wise to tell them from what we had fled, Mama, ever the loud mouth, filled them in with every oh and ah of her thick Yoruba accent. "Rishwa killer!" she shouted. "He's there on the bridge, oh! He stopped to peace. That's how we escape. He don't know I can speak Yoruba. He's telling his friend on the phone that he have found 2 girls for the ritual." Indeed, she was right. The boy had picked us up at the gate of ShopRite and taken us to his hotel room at the 4 Points. He spoke Fone and ordered room service for us. Mama had asked for big stout and assorted meat pepper soup, which the kitchen didn't have, and I accepted his offer to share a bottle of wine with him. He had been gentle and nice, and he came across as every bit the mogul. Mama had been first to start touching him up, but he had shyly reclined from her fat arms and in due course started talking to me instead. He wanted to know what I did for a living.
What do you do for
Somebody who had picked me off the road at past midnight wanted to know what I did for a living. I told him I was a student, which was not a lie, and he wanted to know why I decided to study mass comm, which I wasn't studying. He talked at length about his life in London and how he was only in Nigeria for a UN contract. I chopped. Mama chopped. She even sent me a message when he was asking how many we were in my family. In her message, she had asked me to let the boy do without a condom while she pretended to be asleep. She said that would make the mogul fall in love. Mama's overzealousness had rendered her advices and opinions irrelevant, so I wasn't even upset at her stupidity. No long thing, sha. Mama soon covered her bulky body with a duvet and pretended to be asleep, and the London boy finally approached me.
So beautiful.
He asked that I follow him into the bathroom, and I, playing the part, asked him why. We fucked right there on the bed with a condom, and Mama did not want to move, not even when I pinched her bottom. I let him hold me as he fell asleep, and I must have fallen asleep as well because his phone woke us up. He took the call in the bathroom, and Mama pretended to wake up. When he returned, he looked upset. He explained that he had to fly to Abuja on the first flight out of Lagos and asked where we lived and if he could drop us off. I sensed Mama about to ask him for money, so I quickly told him he could get us a cab to Ikoyi. He refused to let us take a cab at that time of the morning.
No, I'll drop you.
He was going to drop us off so he could know where I stayed, so he could come and see me when he returned later in the night. He then asked if I could come with him to Abuja.
Why don't you come with me?
It was a business meeting, he said. It would take all of 2 hours and then we would catch the last flight back to Lagos. Flights cost around 30k. If he was willing to pay that much just for me to follow him to Abuja and back, how much would I end up fleecing out of him? It was on the way to Ikoyi that he called his friend and started talking in mere whispers in Yoruba. Both Mama and I speak fluent Yoruba. We grew up in Lagos after all. When he pulled over on the deserted bridge and told us he had to pee, no one begged us to jump out of his car and run. I have never run so fast in my life. The policeman listened to our story, as told by Mama, and asked us if we wanted to come to the station to make a statement. "He's still on the bridge, yo!" Mama shouted at them. "You can still catch him!" I was thinking the same. One of the officers explained their position. "See, just go and do Thanksgiving that I did not succeed though. By now, if I don't run away now, how we go know where to catch him?" Mama pointed out that we could take them to his hotel room. But the same officer explained that hotel people don't like that kind of trouble. They won't even let us see the man. Just go home. And you too, stop doing ashara. We stayed with the policemen, partly out of having been placed under arrest and partly out of not wanting to be alone. And we listened to them tell stories of girls who had barely escaped ritual killers, just like we had. When they were ready to leave, we realized we were also free to go. We begged them to drop us at home, and surprisingly, they obliged. When we got to the boys' quarters on People Road that we share with 4 other girls, there was no light. Clara, whose real name is Nkem, opened the door for us because they had locked the padlocks from inside. "From where una ashawo they come from this night?" she asked, and thus unleashed Mama's impatience to narrate our ordeal all over again. Clara woke Toyin. Toyin woke Beatrice. Beatrice woke Antina, who woke 2 other girls I didn't know, and who were taking my spot and Mama's spot on the mattress. Clara lit a kerosene lamp, and the girls listened in silence as Mama embellished the story with magic rings and hidden charms. At the end of her tale, the girls exchanged looks, then burst out into laughter. I was trying to see the humor when one of the strangers explained it to me. It wasn't a new thing. In fact, sharp girls had fallen for the same trick. The boy wasn't a ritual anything. He simply didn't want to pay us, and he tricked us into running away. The girl, whose name turned out to be Kenny, assured us that if we went back to the hotel, we would be told that the occupant had checked out and probably on his way to Abuja as he claimed. To say I was pained is an understatement, but Mama preferred her own interpretation and hung on to the ritual story, no doubt to be repeated to many a girl in the days to come. I only wished she would leave my name out of it. I was still smarting from being played so deftly when Kenny asked if we had checked our bags. Mama asked why, but I had clocked. I opened my bag to the glow of the lantern and searched frantically. I emptied the contents of the bag onto the floor and checked the inner pockets. My money was gone. That morning, as I lay on the crowded mattress, seething with anger and loathing the alarm that would soon go off to wake me to get ready to go to school, I prayed to God to let me see that boy again. I didn't tell God what I planned to do with him when I saw him. My name is Amaka, by the way, but people call me Juliet.
Listen to full episodes of Chronicles of a Runs Girl on the Genti audio app, available on the Google Play Store and Apple App Store.